So I think it's time we move on to our next speaker. This is Dr. Moacir Tinoco. Moacir is the Dean of Research and Graduate Studies at the Catholic University of Salvador, overseeing biology and environmental management courses. He is the coordinator of the Animal Ecology and Conservation Center and is listed as a Latin American partner of the Amphibian Arc and UICN. He works as a consultant and technical advisor for the Lacerta Environmental Consultancy and is a specialist in conservation biology with a focus on ecological and zoological projects involving applied ecology and modeling in species occupancy. I shall let Dr. Tinoco introduce his project from an amazing location.
Hello, hi. My name is Moacir Tinoco. I am a biologist, and I am here today to talk to you a little bit about the deployment of our song meter from the wildlife acoustics, and try to bring to you the experience we had here in the place where I am right now. I am right now in Brazil. I am in Bahia. Bahia is a state in the northeast of Brazil, and in this state, we have many different ecosystems. Among the ecosystems we have this one, which is Restinga. That's the local name for it. And Restinga is a sand dune habitat. It's a it's a habitat related to the sea. So it's the first habitat you have after the beach. So you have the sand dunes, and then you have the Atlantic forest, the proper Atlantic forest, the rainforest, just on that side of this landscape. And this project we have here is part of a very big project. It's a project in the whole of the country. And this project is a INCT project, ESBio. It's a group that works with the ecology and evolution and conservation of biodiversity. And this project, of course, as I said, is made of many different institutions. Most of them are universities in Brazil, but also in some universities in Europe as well, like the University of Madrid in Spain. The coordination of the project is mainly based on the Federal University of Goiás, on the Federal University of Mato Grosso, which is in the center region of Brazil, near the capital, near Brasilia. But we have many different universities in the whole of the country. So we have other universities in the Northeast, in Pernambuco, for example, which is the Rural Federal University of Pernambuco. We also have some universities in the Southeast region, where you have the Unicamp, you have the PUC Minas, you have also the PUC Goiás in the center. PUC is Catholic University, the Pontifex Catholic University of Minas Gerais and of Goiás. We also have the Technological Federal University of Paraná in the south of the country. So we have some song meters in the whole of the country. And of course, the university where I come from, which is the Catholic University of Salvador, where we study for over 10 years the sand dune habitats in Brazil. And the thing about this project is that we have many different objectives. In this station here, where we are right now, we are looking at the pattern, the time pattern for biodiversity. We want to know which songs and which bird and frog species are singing in many different times of the year, in different times of the day. Which birds sing during the rainy season, which birds sing during the dry season, the same thing for amphibians. So we are looking at this time pattern. Another objective we have is we are trying to determine climate change pattern. So we want to see if there is a very strong climate change. For example, the landscape you just saw in front of me and the landscape behind me, we had a very huge flood last year. And this flood never happened in the last 30 years. So we never heard about this flood in the last 30 years for sure. Maybe away from like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, but in the last 30 years, we never had a flood like this. So this place never got so much water. So we are looking at climate changes as well. And we are also looking at the range of thermal activity of the species. So this is a sand dune habitat in a tropical region, very close to the equator. So you can imagine that this kind of place is very hot. So climate tends to get really high. The temperatures get really high in sometimes of the year. The humidity gets really high and really low sometimes of the year. So we are looking at the thermal range of species, and we are going to do that using the song meter. Right now, my idea is to give you an overview of how we deployed the units here. We are going to talk about specifically about this one. We are not going to talk about the other 31 or 32 units we have in the whole country. These units, before we deployed, we needed to test. So we tested the programming, we tested the cards, we tested the mics, we tested all the settings, the batteries, and everything else, everything we needed to test. And we did that in the lab. We didn't bring it here to test it here. We tested in a controlled situation, so we did that in the lab. So we could check for the range of recording, how far it could record the species of sounds, many different types, and then we extracted these sounds, and then we took it to analysis and checked how it was working and if it was working all right. So that was the first thing that we did. And then we brought the recording, the song meter to the field, and then we kind of designed this structure, and the structure is the same in our units. So we have this hardwood piece, and it's set to the ground using concrete. So if it floods, it doesn't come out. No, it's very heavy. So when the place floods, it never comes out. So we guarantee that it's not going to move around and buoy to everywhere and work as a floating device. And then we needed to put a cover because of rain. You can see it's a bit of wet here, and the sun is very strong, and would damage for sure the plastic of the song meter. And we also placed this barrier on the back. So why? Because of wind, because of rain, and because of even the sound that comes from the sea. So the sea is right over there. So there is a sound that comes. So we blocked it, but we never blocked the way that the mics they could get the sounds from the animals, the birds and the frogs, from one side to the other side. We don't need to worry about animals here because we don't have animals that tend to come and touch this device. Usually marmosets are tiny monkeys, so they don't really worry us. But as I said, we needed to worry about the wind, temperature, and rain. That was something that we really worried about. The next step was to decide where we would consider deploying the device, the unit, the sound meter. Why we deployed it here, right here? Because all this landscape, it floods every year, so we have a lot of water. Last year we had a very strong rainy season, and because of this strong rainy season, all the area you see behind me flooded. Even here, the place where the song meter is. So the water last year got up to my knee. So we don't know. We never know. We don't know what's happening to the climate. All these climate changes. So we do believe that it is possible that this year, in our higher rainy season, we might get water even above the knee or on the waist. So we need to monitor this to consider removing it if it rains too much. And we deployed many different song meters in many different locations. So we had to think about that. the locations that we did deploy song meter. Here, that's the way we did. On the state of Pernambuco, further north, we decided to place the song meter and deploy it near a riverbank. And then we know that the riverbank floods a lot. So even over a meter, or sometimes 2 meters of water. So we needed to place the song meter nearly 3 meters above the water level. So on a steep slope. So we needed to consider that to prevent that the song meter would flood. So, and we do use many other different technologies together with the song meter. In all the 32 units we use in the whole country, we have the song meter, and we have data logger recording for many different climate variates, humidity, and so on. So we have this here. But in the many different universities and units in the regions, the researchers, they have different other different questions to respond. So they try to use other different technologies. So they use trap cams. We also use active recording of frogs during the evening. So we come and we walk along finding frogs and recording them with an active recording, active search and recording. So we have many different situations of using different technologies in together with the song meter. And to finish with this, all the measure we had to deploy the equipment, the last things I can say is that we did need to consider the regions in Brazil where we deployed all these song meters. We considered different ecoregions like the Atlantic forest, the grassland. We also considered the dry land. We considered the Pantanal. We consider many different locations in the whole of the country. And so we can have an overview of birds, of many different species of birds and many different species of frogs. So we believe that we are going to have a very nice monitoring result of this huge project that we are doing here in this country. And to end, I don't believe that we had many consistent scenarios on the deployment of different locations, because we have different situations in the whole of the country. We had, for example, locations where the song meter was stolen. So people stole the song meter. There were places where there was bushfires, natural bushfires, and the song meter burned. So here we had a problem. Actually, we had one of the mic sponge, the wind protection was removed. We don't know. Maybe Mammoset removed it. So we don't think we have very consistent scenarios for the different locations where we deployed the song meter. And yes, that's it that I wanted to bring and tell you about the way we deployed the song meter in the whole of the country. And I mean, especially here in Bahia, especially here in the Restinga. Of course, if we ask the other researchers, you're gonna have many different situations in the whole of the country. But yeah. If you have any questions during the webinar, if you have any comment, and if you need to get in touch with me, get my contact in the webinar, and I'll be happy to respond to your questions and to your comments. Thank you very much for watching us, and that's it. Thank you, and thank you to Wildlife Acoustics to giving us the opportunity to talk about our project and what we are doing here in this country. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Moacir. Ah, there you are. Excellent. I thought you were with us. Wow, it's quite nice seeing a field setup like live in the field. You can't deny it was definitely there when you were there. And it's wonderful hearing all the wildlife calling kind of around you. If we did that in the UK, we'd just get rain. That's it. That's all we do. We've got some questions that are coming in. One is looking at recorder settings. Do you use the same recorder settings when you're recording frogs as when you're recording birds? Is it just the same settings?
Yes. First of all, thank you again. Thanks to
Thank
everyone
you.
at Wildlife, Wildlife Acoustics to give us the opportunity to talk about the project. Yes, all the locations, in all the locations, we consider deploying the sound meter to record birds and frogs. Most of the researchers involved with the projects are herpetologists, so most of them are interested in frogs, in fact. But yes, we are recording birds as well, and especially because we do deploy the equipment, the song meter, in places where we have a lot of water, so you have obviously a lot of birds flying around and singing, and yeah.
Excellent. Somebody's asked a question. It's a difficult one to answer, but it's a good question. I know it's difficult for every site, but what are your general best practices for waterproofing? And do the shelters create more noise when it's raining? I mean, waterproofing's they're kind of pretty much waterproof anyway.
Yeah. This is something that we did think about. That we needed to consider that. It's funny because when I recorded that video, it started to rain, and then we had to stop. We had to look for shelter. And when we talk about when the summer rain in Brazil, it's really strong, especially in the northeast, and it does make a lot of noise everywhere. So we consider that. We consider that the shelter was going to improve the noise, but then if you think that the rain itself is going to make noise in the environment, and so we thought that maybe if we have that kind of material, we would reduce a bit the noise. We did test the material to see, of course, if we do a metal one, would make a lot more noise. So we consider that, and we understood that wouldn't be noisier than the rain falling everywhere around the song meter. We did took the risk because especially the bit behind the song meter, because the wind coming from the sea is quite strong. Sometimes for us it's quite strong, and it does make a lot of noise. And then we considered doing that because then we could get the sound coming from the sides where you have the lagoon from one side and the other side. Yeah, but definitely that.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, say it.
So the thing that you've got up at the back, is that reducing wind noise as well? Are you finding that
yeah it's the one on the back is mainly to reduce the noise from the wind, but also to protect from the rain when the rain comes, because the rain comes from that side, from the sea, and it's really strong. You can't imagine.
Somebody's asked a question: how do you personally determine if a microphone is working properly after being damaged or waterlogged? How do you personally determine if a microphone is working properly, basically? I think.
Yeah, good question. We do, because this place is quite far. Most of the places are quite far away from our labs and our universities. So what we do test the cards, the SD cards recordings to the last minute. We remove it, and we also test if there is any damage. So when we saw that probably marmosets or raccoons have removed the mic protection, so we did test the SD. If we see something weird on the song meter, then we do test the mics and the recordings just to make sure that everything is fine. So all the time, every time we go there every 3 months or so.
Someone's asked, well, lots of people have asked, how can we contact you? I'd like to know more about your work by your colleagues in UTFPR. So there are people that want you.
I can, I can add on the chat. I can add my contacts on the chat so people can get in touch with me. But I am at Twitter and I am at Instagram as well. So I'll give my bio there.
Excellent. Did you do any comparisons of what can be heard live in strong wind or rain and what the microphone picks up?
Yes, we are doing this. I have a student, a PhD student. He is doing something related to it. So he does consider the recordings. He considered also some other types of autonomous recording as well. And we also do the active search for frogs. And when we go there and find the frog, then we can record it, and then we can compare the quality of the song from the frog we recorded in an active technique and from the song meter itself.
It's straight. We had a big thunderstorm a couple of days ago here, and you could hear it rumbling, and you could hear this. You knew the rain was going to come in. And outside my back door is a song thrush, and it was battling against the thunderstorm. So I put a recorder out. I put one of this out actually, and the song thrush carried on all the way through these big rumbles of thunder and torrential rain. It didn't care, so they're still out there making noises. Someone's just put in, have you tried a natural dampener for your rain covers, such as moss? So like a sort of natural.
Well, yes. We don't have this kind of material, but that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Thank you. Who I didn't get who gave this tip.
I don't.
We don't have the same kind. We don't have the same kind of moss you guys find in the UK, for example. I did my PhD in the UK. I know what moss look like, and definitely it would help a lot. But I think I can find in Brazil something similar to it, and good one.
And then there's one final question here. Do you use the same setup, the protection from the top and the back, on every site, or do you adjust depending on the sites? So do you use different setups in different locations, basically? I think.
Oh yeah. In most of the cases, because we have in the whole project, we have researchers who deployed 32, if I'm not wrong, 32 song meters, and we did use different ways to set up. In our case, we set up this one here in Bahia, in the Northeast, and another one in Pernambuco as well. And we did use the same setup because of the conditions are quite the same. So we did use the same setup. But I know, for example, that some colleagues, they don't use covers. They just set up the song meter free in the environment, and because you can imagine from the north to the south of Brazil, you have completely different weather conditions.
Burke Jam was the person who said the moss solution.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
I've got that. Well, thank you so much, Moacir. It was wonderful, especially wonderful to see a presentation from the field. You're one of the first, I think. Absolutely wonderful. And if you're staying on, I'm sure people will keep asking you questions. In fact, I've just got one more that's just popped in.
Good.
What is your battery change interval? How do you maximize deployment time, basically?
That's another good one. In fact, we are now deploying every 6 months because we had a larger SD card. And to be honest with you, the battery's never gone out. Never. They never gone out. So we changed it because we needed to, because we never know. And for example, we had batteries like going to 4.6 minimum, but usually we do change them and they are still 5 something, 5.1. And so they they never gone out. But
No.
we do change every 4 months, every 3 to 4 months. But now we are going to check if they can last to 6 months. So because the SD cards are going to last for about 6 months.
Are you just sampling the day? Are you recording, say, for 1 hour in a day, or are you recording all day, or?
No, we record 24 hours. Every 15 minutes, we record 1 minute. So
Okay, so you're
we
sampling
can,
your data. So yeah,
yeah,
your back
sampling, yeah,
lost.
yeah, and that's the same interval that everyone is using the whole of the country.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so that's, yeah, you really drawing out that longevity, which is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you again, Moacir. As I say, it was wonderful seeing you in the field, and it's good seeing you in the office as well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure more questions will be sent to you at some point. But thank you again, wonderful presentation, and we'll see you again soon, and we'll move
Okay,
on.
thank you very much. Yeah, thanks to everyone at Wildlife Acoustics, and thanks to everyone that came to watch us.